Today, the United States commands global attention with a staggering $26 trillion economy, the largest in the world, and a defense budget of over $800 billion, far surpassing any other nation. It maintains a military presence in more than 70 countries, operates around 800 overseas bases, and leads in technological innovation, with Silicon Valley at the forefront of the digital revolution. The U.S. also holds significant cultural sway, with Hollywood films and American music dominating global entertainment. Yet this remarkable superpower status contrasts sharply with its origins. Just over 200 years ago, the land that is now the United States was a collection of British colonies, each struggling with its own set of challenges. These colonies, from the bustling port of New York to the agrarian settlements of Virginia, were small and relatively insignificant on the global stage. How did these fledgling colonies transform into a nation with unparalleled global influence? To answer this, we must delve into the early history of these colonies and explore how British ambitions and colonial realities shaped the path to American independence and global prominence. In the early 1600s, European powers were eager to explore and colonize the New World, driven by a mix of economic ambition, religious freedom, and the search for new trade routes. The British were no exception. Their interest in North America led to the establishment of several colonies along the eastern coast. The first successful British colony was Jamestown, founded in 1607 in what is now Virginia. It faced numerous hardships, including conflicts with indigenous peoples and struggles with disease and starvation. Despite these challenges, the colony survived and began to grow. Over the next several decades, more colonies were established, including Plymouth in 1620, Massachusetts Bay in 1630, and others in what are now the northeastern and southern regions of the United States. Each colony was unique in its reasons for settlement and its development. Some were founded for economic purposes, seeking riches or agricultural opportunities, while others, like the Pilgrims in Plymouth, sought religious freedom. Despite their different motivations, these colonies shared a common connection through their British heritage and governance. In the late 17th and early 18th centuries, the American colonies were firmly under British control. The British government imposed a colonial administration to manage these territories, each governed by its own colonial charter and a governor appointed by the Crown. The colonies operated with a degree of autonomy, particularly in their local affairs, but they were subject to British laws and trade regulations. British Crown and Parliament sought to benefit from the colonies through trade and resources. To ensure this, they established a system of mercantilism, which required the colonies to trade primarily with Britain and restricted their ability to trade with other nations. One key component of British control was the enforcement of the Navigation Acts, a series of laws designed to regulate colonial trade. These acts mandated that certain goods could only be shipped to England or other British colonies. While these laws were intended to strengthen Britain's economic grip, they also fostered a sense of resentment among colonists who felt restricted in their economic activities. As the colonies grew and prospered, their relationship with Britain began to sour. The British government, facing mounting debts from wars and the cost of maintaining its empire, began to impose new taxes and regulations on the colonies. The Stamp Act of 1765 and the Townshend Acts of 1767 were among the measures that angered colonists, who had no representation in the British Parliament and felt their rights were being infringed upon. The tensions between Britain and the colonies escalated into open conflict with the outbreak of the American Revolutionary War in 1775. The colonists' desire for independence and their frustration with British policies led to a struggle for freedom that would ultimately reshape the course of history. The Declaration of Independence, adopted on July 4, 1776, marked the formal beginning of the United States as a separate nation. The Revolutionary War, fought over the next 8 years, was a hard-fought struggle that eventually led to American victory and the recognition of independence in 1783. The process of establishing a new nation was fraught with challenges, including creating a new government and uniting the diverse states. The Articles of Confederation, the first governing document, proved inadequate, leading to the drafting of the U.S. Constitution in 1787. This new framework provided a stronger federal government and a system of checks and balances that would support the growth and stability of the new nation. Fast forward to modern era. The 19th and 20th centuries were marked by rapid expansion and industrial growth. The concept of manifest destiny drove the U.S. to expand across the continent, while the Industrial Revolution transformed its economy from agrarian to industrial. The Civil War, a pivotal event in American history, resolved major internal conflicts and paved the way for a more unified and industrially advanced nation. The U.S. emerged as a global power through participation in major international conflicts, including World War I and World War II. These wars solidified its military and economic strength, while the post-war period saw the U.S. take a leading role in shaping global institutions and alliances. The end of the Cold War in 1991 marked the consolidation of American power, with the U.S. standing as the world's preeminent superpower. Its influence continued to grow, driven by technological innovation, economic leadership, and military dominance. Do not forget to subscribe and share the video.